So, my previous video was discussing the reasons why your Schengen Visa application gets refused based on a checklist that I received from the German embassy, which I believe is the same checklist that most embassies would use since they have the same or at least similar concerns from their visitors. My own application was initially refused. And what I did was I disagreed with that, and so I remonstrated it and successfully did so. They refused my visa application based on two things. One would be my nose is itchy. So one would be I did not have sufficient subsistence for my stay in the Schengen state. Well, I show them more than the 45 euro per day they were asking for. Enough for maybe more than 10 months of stay, actually. The second reason was that they could not ascertain that I was leaving Schengen state or region before my visa expires. This would mean that they do not see my rootedness in the Philippines, and for them, rootedness equates to familial ties and economic bonds. Familial ties would be spouse, minor child, etc., and economic bonds would be a certificate of employment and approved leave of absence, rent income, as well as real estate property and etc. Okay, for familial ties, I don't have a spouse and I don't have a kid for sure, but I do have a mom who's 67, 68, and yeah, I'm her companion for most things. And when it comes to economic bonds, I don't have certificate of employment or approved leave of absence because I'm a freelance sales agent. I don't have to deal with that. And what I did was I asked 3 of my suppliers to give me a certificate recognizing me as their sales agent. And the other thing as well is I do have land titles in my name along with my siblings' name that we inherited from our dad. And I show them 4 of those land titles. Apparently all of these were not enough for them, but at the same time, this is what's written on their checklist, and these are also what they highlighted on their refusal letter. And that boggles the mind for me into thinking, what else could I do to change this? And so what I did was we decided to remonstrate, wherein you actually have 1 month to contest or remonstrate the reasons why they refuse your visa. And you can do so by providing supplementary documents to prove your case. For me, when it comes to insufficient funds, I showed them the exact same thing. Plus, I just said that, hey, I don't know why you refuse this, because I thought I had enough funds to cover my whole stay in Germany, but for whatever reason, we would like to lay your concerns to rest. So we have this formal obligation that would hopefully allow me to stay there, or, to prove to you that there is actually enough funds for me to go visit Germany. And second is, when it comes to rootedness, yes, I don't have a spouse and I don't have a mom, but no, I don't have a spouse and I don't have a kid, but I have a mom, and I'm her constant companion. And the other one was the economic bonds, right? So I resubmitted. Well, for my familial ties, it's kind of hard to prove this. And so I kind of supplemented this in terms of, like, let's say, hey, I'm traveling a lot with my family, so I actually downloaded like 100 plane tickets over the last 6, 7 years. And then I kind of segregated those plane tickets into international travel. And then I created a table to summarize everything as to which country, what date, and then who my companions are and their relationship to me, because that would show them that I have a strong familial tie, because I'm traveling with my aunt, uncle, my cousins, my sister, and my mom, more than half the time of all my trips. And then, aside from that, I actually supplemented all these more than 20 travels with, aside from the plane ticket, from my visa and entry and exit stamps in Philippines and in corresponding countries. And if some of these were missing, or in most cases some, I had like maybe 2 or 3 plane tickets that were missing, I had to take a screenshot of my Facebook post showing the actual date that it was posted, along with a photo that shows the city I was in. And so that kind of, for me, strengthens the familial bond. And not only that, there's also the fact that I have good travel history. I have multiple entry visa to Japan and South Korea, and I've never abused or overstayed any of my visa. And then for my local travels, I segregated them into 2 categories. One for pleasure, which is visiting family and friends, and the other one is for work trip. So, and also, in terms of economic bonds, since it seems like they don't trust the certificates that my suppliers were giving me, I showed them a glimpse of what I was doing, which is, showing them a photo of purchase orders along with delivery receipts and check payments. So I took, raw photos of that, collated them, and then attached it to the documentation. And then the last one was, I resubmitted the land titles, and then this time around I actually highlighted my name on the land titles. We opted not to send all these documents by mail. We sent it by email, and yeah, lo and behold, I got lucky. Instead of having to wait 6 to 8 weeks or more in some instances to get a response, I actually got a response day after submission telling me that, hey, we're giving you your visa. Let us know your travel dates and send us your passport. And that was that. So what we did was book my plane tickets, then send it to them along with my passport, and then they gave me the visa. They just, gave me a leeway as to additional 2 days before my flight and about 2 days after my flight, just in case something happens. And yeah, that's how I successfully remonstrated my visa refusal.